Chi Creation, The Windows to Spirit, Part 2. I changed the name to The Windows to Spirit. All is one. It still fits, but Chi Creation, Love and Light were about all being one. And whilst this series is still about that, I kind of think Windows to Spirit is much more appropriate, as we're like looking through the peacock feather and we're seeing into the realm. It's almost like looking through a glass ball and seeing whatever vision it presents in that kind of sense and stuff like. And in this case, it's the ocean. So I see all the waves and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like blurry in distance a little bit. It's or in this area as well, in the close area. It's like the foreground. So it's like it's like this is the focal area, so you can see that better. Or maybe here because you can see detail better, especially because it's glary on my phone as well. But one of the aspects of this, we see the wave shape. Oh, what's that from there? So as it starts to curl over, it falls over, and it kind of, that's where all the froth is, and that's the wall of the wave, and all these kind of things. In a previous series, we spoke about the frog, and it has this pattern, this shape here. So like this snout, you can see like it looks like a creature, and it's got its eyes there, and it's got like a snout and stuff. So we see this same shape here. So it's like the wall wave, it's turning over, and the rest at froth would come down, but you know, it's showing you more at wall there. It's showing you froth in foreground, and then in background it's going to come over, I suppose. And then you got the tail at wave as well, or two tails, as there's two waves coming together. But with this, because it's got this snouty nose kind of shape, like that. So we see it. You see the kind of same shape. I mean, it's bent. It's neck stood up. So you know, if it were feeding, it'd be different. Feeding there. Well, you can see like the roll of a wave and how like the coil of that. So it's like where it's tighter there and it's more wider in that kind of sense. So another example with frog. It's ostriches. So it's that same shape. Well, again, it's got its head up, but it's out like the snouted nose. And again, like, you know, roll and roll. So with snouted nose as well, in that kind of sense. So, like, you know, it's like the general shape. So, like, how that kind of fits on the frog, and it's showing you that wave shape. Even though on frog, it looks like, you know, it was kind of difficult to spot, but I don't know, I eventually spotted it. It's something significant, so we're trying to see, you know what I mean, and it's kind of showing you this kind of shape and stuff. I see wave on there as well. So this one, we can see the peacock. See how the lines come round, and then you get the centre part. So that's where the waves would be, and that's where the waves catch for food, in that kind of sense. So, I should have done it that way, yeah. So that's like going up its neck and around. So the waves, the join together to create that peacock feather shape. And then, that'd be a waves for inside, but these are waves on outside. I'll go to the previous picture. And see, like, it's the wall of a wave, and you've got the crashing, all the water splashing and stuff like. Um, but with both of them matched together, then that makes that peacock. It's also like eyes there as well. It's like part of its shoulder or whatever. But I kind of think that pareidolia is also part of it. So yeah, this one's a little bit different. It's like below the wave, it looks like a panda. Is the other baby one? It's got a foot there as well, and that looks like a panda. It's like that. You can see, like it's got a nose and eyes and everything. And so, like where the wave is there, the wall of a wave, that blackness, it makes it look like there's a gap. So that there might not even be an anteater. You'd only see this. So it's quite clever how it's done it and stuff like. But it's also like part of the ocean waves and how the foot works and stuff like that. It's kind of like showing you the same pathway for the water, how the water's designed. Because you see, like, that wave, that's the panda, but this wave, that's the anteater. So, it's the same design in a way, but used differently. One's for a foot, one's for its head. But it showed you the head pattern. So, it's quite cool. Alright, so we're back on this fish. He's gone blurry. We need to go to the next one anyway. So go back to this one. You see the blue? You get these like blue colours here, and it's kind of like out of place because the rest of the picture looks like like the proper colours kind of thing, like that sunlight colour, But this blue is like out of place in that kind of sense, and so in one sense it's like the Kirlian photography when we can see the chi, so like we can only see a small band of light, can't we? Whereas, like, the full imagery, of the full spectrum of light, that's kind of different. So, is it showing you that? And this is like the chi. So, where the sun is it in the water? It's kind of like creating the light in that kind of sense. So that's like a concentration of chi. So it can feel the warmth. It can the water can express it in that kind of sense. And see, we're seeing like little bits of it here as well. And see, it's also like stronger on edge of your vision. So, if you see something in the corner of your eye, you know what I mean? Like, I will think of more like spiritual senses or whatever and stuff like that. You feel like you saw something, but you can never really prove it in that kind of way. But in that same sense, you've got it there, rather than center. And then, you've got this kind of pattern. I mean, it just goes up at top, but it's still similar to the frog shape and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, so, you can imagine that's like another creature. But again, the wave, the wall, all that kind of stuff like. So, more pareidolia. You get the face. All the waves come over, crash, and then it splits. It leaves gaps, and then like the ocean can see through it. Albeit the sun can see in. But yeah, it's like that window looking into the world in that kind of way. So again, more pareidolia with the waves. You can see the sunlight. So like the sunlight is the surface of water, and you're getting all these speckles all over it. It's quite glowy there, but then you can see the blue. So it's suddenly shifting into that blue area. So it's the same thing. but it's showing you on edgier vision. So like when we looked at the rainbows and bubbles and all those kind of things, and we're seeing like all the colours at the edge and stuff, whereas the middle's imperceivable, so you can see through the middle. So again, it's kind of like the moon, you know, the faces on that in that kind of way. See, it's subtle, you know. It's you see, it's a wave, right? And then you can see it's turned over there, it's turned over there, and you're like that's still a wall, that's still a wall. So there's not really much of a face, but it's just a subtle bit of pareidolia. You know what I mean? Is that its mouth? You know what I mean? Does it need to develop more, and then you know it'd be kind of obvious or whatever? But um, it's just that even in the subtlest ways, it's kind of like you know it's already shown that it can do it in that way. So I kind of think it's still there, even though sometimes, like, you know, even some of the previous pictures, we didn't really see faces, but we saw the waves and stuff. So even if you look at the ocean, you see the waves coming, and most often you don't see the pareidolia because it's moving too fast in that kind of way, but um, it's there, you know, like that consciousness. More of them. We had some of them in the last episode. I can't remember if there's else I wanted to add to it. See froth breaking up. See, there's probably like loads of pareidolia there, but you know it's difficult to spot because there's so much of it. And then you know, to expect to say that that's pareidolia and proven or whatever, because it's like you know it's so scattered in that kind of way. But it is still there whether you can see it or not. In one way, I'd wanted to show more fish with ocean waves and stuff like. But it's become more objective, you know, because it's like I've got stuff that I needed to show in that kind of way. So here we've got like a cymatic patterns. It is a bit blurry, but it's not the camera. So yeah, like on the ocean floor or where bubbles break up and they kind of create those patterns in that way. Again with Kirlian photography, you're getting those lines. So if the sunlight's catching on peak at water for that split second, it kind of creates the patterns underneath and stuff like. Um, and it's showing it in that Kirlian sense. And so there's an overlay to the entire image. So it's like you've got the surface of the ocean, which is of a fish, but then you've got your photograph, which is separate to that surface picture. The photograph is the waves coming on towards you, rather than the entire, you know, just looking at the surface of the water. It does tend to overlap quite often, like so. That got peacock. We saw one similar to this on the last one, but you've got all that ring kind of shape. It kind of comes up to there, so you can see like it's got all of that. So in that window, in that depth and that darkness, you got the sun, its reflection. But is it its reflection or is it its soulmate? You know, like the expression of love in the realm or what the realm is, and like the highest frequency and stuff like that. So, like the expectation for God or Source to have like a soulmate, it makes sense. It's like the yin and yang of the realm in that way. So we've got more of these. It depends how serious goes. You know, I wanted to. It's going in it, but I will show this. There's certain things about it in a way. I suppose. Hang on. You see this? You see we've got that side, and this side's undetermined. Yeah. So you've got this, and then this starts to crash into here. And so it's undetermined. It's not got the definite edge. It's got a inconsistency because as things are splashing and such. So we look there, we can see that it's got a curl and that's got a point. So in that respect, and that's the other aspect of it, the sunlight coming through the wave. So as that comes through and this creates this shape, then that's what this is. See, it's this way though. So it's kind of comes over and crashes, and then it's leaving its waves, all other waves which have crashed. And you can see like the symmetrical mirror pattern which kind of comes with it. It's not always perfect and stuff, but we've gone over that. It doesn't have to be. It depends on angle and all these kind of things, doesn't it? But we've also got like the sky, or the upper area is different to the bottom area. It looks like it's smooth, like the sand's smooth, and there's like that slight layer of water on there, so it's going to become reflective, and it's going to get that brownish colour at sand. It's got like I don't know if it's got actual sand or bubbles or something like that kind of thing on it. So I think that can be ignored, but I don't know if they're clouds. Because it could be a reflection at sky if it's gone perfectly smooth and it's got a reflection and stuff, which is like an overlay image. It's just that, yeah, they're usually waves whenever you see the white stuff. But the bottom looks different to the top, so that does look like reflective. So also, like the movement is kind of taken away because it's like the light's coming through the waves there, and then you got the crashing and all that kind of stuff. But it's not like saying Earth's moving. It's like one issue is like it'd be traveling sideways, which is kind of like that'd be quite an issue. So this one, you got like a different shape to it, but sometimes you get eyes more, different shaped in that kind of way and stuff. And like the overlay of like two images, it's difficult to tell properly. What's going off. The previous one had it as well. I don't know what that square is. So you got your bias to that side because that's where the wave is. Where the curl of a wave is. And that's where the crashing is. It's got a gold ring around this one. And the depth and colour as well. It's like inverted rather than the yellow or orange kind of colour you'd expect. So again, this is quite good. So it looks like the black hole with the ring around it in that kind of sense and stuff like. Also to note that the ring is there, and then you've got this C shape which goes around it as well. So you can see the wave, you can see the multiple rings, like when you got your wave. Go back to wave again. Each line is creating a ring. So you can see there's like a dark line there. There's a dark line there. And you got to get the angle right, and the wave's got to be the right angle as well. But so you can see each ring, potential ring. And we have got more for this as well. I don't know if we're going to be able to fit it in this episode though, which is a shame. Hang on, that one. It's like, to be going sideways, because he's going to see the orientation of a realm in that kind of sense. So, so again, like the peacock feather, it's just we haven't got the colour the same. Um, so we've got waves coming in, even though it's really subtle in that kind of sense. And when we look at it that way, it's like that pathway. And so then we can see spirit at top of a couple. Is that what it looks like? It looks like two people. It's just that there's a light there and there and there and there. It could be four people, you know. Some of the other pictures are like there's like six lights, like in the previous episode. So you know, I'm trying to figure it out in that kind of sense, but it definitely looks like people. And if anything, you know, definitely two people. And like I said, there could be more, but so that golden glow as well, you know, the sunlight, that warmth. And so like what we are, in regards of like the sun being consciousness, and that being us of what we are. So the sun, how it breaks up, all the waves, and they lead up to there and stuff. It looks like there's 5 on that one. So again, you've got the waves. It's subtle, like a pastel painting or something like that. And you've got like these waves, and then that sun there. So that's where it's glowing through. And so that's where, you know, it's probably dimmed from all the mists and, you know, froth and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, but the light's still getting through in that kind of sense. That must be where the wave is anyway, or where the turn of a wave and the light coming through, where that is. It's again like the peacock feather. You see how waves and stuff. So it looks like you got two people, the faces, shoulders, and then above them is all the light from the sun. Oh. That might be the same picture. So this one, it looks like the 3D, like they actually stick out, like little specks. I don't know. What that's about. But the other ones didn't look like that. They didn't look like they stuck out. But so again, like the peacock, I know it's referencing that black hole. That's that window. That's the consciousness inside and all that kind of thing. So then, like the blackness of that on the outside, or the light coming out. So they're doing the same, but it's like at the other side, and so you can see it coming out that way, like a black hole, an eclipse. Sorry, which is the same thing. So again, the same thing, because we're seeing this black hole, we see like the fiery sunlight coming out, and then, you know, all that kind of stuff, like, and but within we can see the sun, we can see the waves coming over, and so that's where the sun comes through in that kind of sense. That's its portal, its window. It's in the same sense. That's a wave, but it's got the sun coming through it. That's why the wave is yellow. So we see it there. See, like there's a shine, there's a glow from it, and so it's like, you know, it's kind of more specific in that kind of way. It's like that's the sun coming through the water. So it's the same as that, but this is a close-up version of it. So we're seeing it from there that time, rather from there. That's like in distance. But it's showing you that same shape though. The same again, more vibrant with colour. You got your wave, your sun. Yeah, wave, the bubble of consciousness. So you got that there. That's where them people were stood. So it's like a peacock feather, like the black area, which it's same again there. It's like a repetition. So yeah. Oh, you see like that depth, that darkness. You know what I mean? It's like that imperceivable light in that kind of way. It just looks a bit different to that because that just looks like a black hole and not like a black hole, but like a hole, a deep hole. So another example is showing it waves of the sun coming through it. It's kind of blurry, smeared, you know what I mean? But opposed to like seeing it as like something moving, you know what I mean? It's more like the waves coming towards you and the light's coming through. So it's not like the movement's a thing, you know what I mean? It's kind of like more like the tail of a wave is like the tail of the black hole. So that's what makes it relevant in many respects, because like when we look at the tunnel of a wave, where are we? This is the coil, and this is what pulls it all in and makes it kind of relevant in a way. Like the matchup, because like, you know, the wave rolls and all that kind of stuff, and then this spin is like how the black hole pulls everything into it. And when we look at those fish, it almost implies that something's aiding it. Like they feed the black hole. The black hole gets all this energy. It's the same way that we come in here in that kind of sense, because we come from spirit in that kind of way. And I don't know, it's what he's showing. But it'll be more clear as we go along, because we've got like more pictures to show the same kind of thing. That wave going under there and stuff like, that's not a very good picture. It's more waves. I think that's all it is from these. So you got your glow at sun on that window. Glow at sun as it comes through waves. Glow at sun. Glow at sun. And this one's a half wave, so you got like the roll up wave coming over, alt froth. Got alt froth here as well, and that's like the wall up wave. Or it might have turned over, it's not got the froth on it yet. Independent wave and stuff like, but you know, you got like that, so that kind of shows you like a good example of what that'd be and stuff. So it depends, like, you know, you can have like the it can be open. It depends. This could be in several ways that it can be, you know what I mean? Because it's like you've got the wall of a wave exposed to sunlight, and then you got all the froth coming in. So it depends. I suppose it depends on fish as well, because I've got a couple of different. Oops. So again, that looks like froth. So it's like mist. It's starting to block that golden colour and stuff like. Um, but I'm gonna have to leave it there because I'm up to my time. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Next one, cheers.